call it. I think they call it a
I
stage. Um,
yeah, but
uh,
I've never seen this before. I've been using Zoom, doing
yeah,
both giving the presentation, but I've never seen that particular function before.
yeah. It's
It,
like a stage option, something to that effect, where it will
Hmm.
autofocus on you. If you move, the camera is then moving on you. It's not the
No, no, no. It
zoom.
wasn't the actual shared screen was zooming in and out. And
Oh, that
it wasn't the camera at all. It was the screen that was being shared, and I could control scroll and reduce the size of this Zoom screen so I could see Huey's entire screen again. I just had never
Hmm.
experienced that before in Zoom. So it was interesting.
Hmm.
Then we were talking about control Zoom and things like that. So I just it was
try that when Mike uh, does the next section.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean,
it's recorded. Well,
it's true.
before we actually formally introduce this section, I would invite everybody that's here at the moment. There's 35 people on the call, and Dwayne rather is Drew, sorry, is going to do a presentation on OBS Studio, which is much more than just recording videos off your screen. And it's an absolutely free program for anybody to use. And if we all like free, stay tuned for I'm quite sure will be an entertaining presentation.
I'm still learning. It's a lot to learn, but it's terrific.
Stan Wallner, are you with us? I know he's been having internet
No,
problems.
I don't see him anywhere.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to share my screen to start this off. And let's get on here for share and screen 2 and share. So, welcome to the Central Florida Computer Society's social club. And I am showing you the new landing page that the Computer Society has set up to replace our previous website. It's available at www.cfcs.org. And unfortunately, because of the way our host works, it is not yet SSL secure socket layer enabled, but it does go to a secure site on blogger.com. So if you type in cfcs.org, you may get an error, in which case type in http://cfcs.org and you'll get this page. And for many of you know that our computer society has started using the Discord BBS. And we gave a presentation 2 weeks ago, I guess Saturday, on Discord and how we've used it to communicate with our members and interested parties. And we shared an invitation link to everybody that had watched that APCUG presentation and found that for security purposes, we had to change our link on a regular basis. So for those that are interested in joining Discord and have not yet done so, anytime you come to our website, cfcs.org, the current invitation will be right here, and you won't have to send an email to us and say, hey, I can't get on. And this changes probably a couple times a week. Now, once you're on, you don't have to come to this link anymore, but at any rate, it'll let you know that this is how you get to us. And then we have additional information on the archives of all our meetings. For example, this one will be recorded and put up on our YouTube channel. You've just seen Huey's special interest group, and if you're here, you're on his list. But if you want to share that information with your user group, tell them to go to huey.net and scroll down the page, and there's a form to get on his newsletter email list. And in the newsletter, you can actually apply, anybody can apply to get on the WinSig presentations. Our main meetings, as you are now watching, are immediately after Huey's presentation, so there's no additional requirements to register for that. However, if you would like to get bulletins on what's happening with CFCS and alerts, then the TechSig maintains a Google group, and if you email Stan Wallner, he will put you on the list and add you to that list. You can resign from that list anytime you would like. But all of this information, again, is available at cfcs.org or http, not s, ://cfcs.org. I will stop sharing the screen.
The information you mentioned is available at the following sources. Link to cfcs.org. This website likely contains information related to CFCs, likely chlorofluorocarbons.
My phone started answering me as an inquiry. So how nice of Mr. G or Miss G to tell me what CFCS stands for. Okay, Stan, are you with us yet? Okay, then just a couple of quick announcements. Many of you also know that we have been disestablishing or dissolving our corporate structure, continuing the Computer Society. We're about 2/3 finished with that process. We are in the process of registering the name in the state of Florida on the fictitious name website, Central Florida Computer Society. That'll finish up this week. And then we have to file our last tax return with the IRS. We've got some charitable donations to make from our treasury to get it down to zero. And when that's done, we file our articles of dissolution with the state and we are dissolved. But for all intents and purposes, for all of you watching this, we're still in existence. We're still doing what we had been doing, and we're still a member of the Association of PC User Groups, and we intend on keeping this going for as long as we can. So, our presentation today, Drew, have we made you a co-host?
No.
Huey, can you make Drew a co-host, please? You need him to raise his hand to find him, or? You're muted.
It's done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right.
I'd like to introduce
Yep.
Drew King from the Sarasota Technology User Group, who will be our speaker today. And Drew, I'll let you introduce yourself and your presentation. You have the floor.
Okay. And let me hide this panel. And now I'm going to bring up, minimize that and close the chat window. And does anybody else see this intelligent meeting stuff from Zoom? I've been getting these
Yes,
flashes.
yes,
Yes, but it just
we
went
saw
away.
that.
Yeah, it's annoying. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about OBS Studio, which is a free and open source program for doing video recording and live streaming. And a third thing that it does is it can create a virtual camera for while you're online. And what you're seeing for my video right now is a virtual OBS Studio camera. And I can open up, I'll show you this in detail after I cover my presentation, but I can change between different scenes, and on the fly, what you're seeing in the camera is going to change. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Basically, the features of OBS Studio is that it's very popular for gamers because it does real-time video and audio capturing and mixing. And there's a lot of people who do online gaming or want to do online gaming, and you can capture multiple cameras. If you have 2 or 3 video cameras, you can capture all of them. One could be pointing into your room, one at your camera in your computer. And you can also have multiple audio sources. They allow you to capture, I think, up to 6 tracks of audio and video. So it does a lot. You can customize the software with scenes and sources. And I'm going to cover both the scenes and the sources when I give you the demonstration. Filters are a way for you to mask or colorize or use a chroma key or blur your background. There's all kinds of filters that can be applied to your picture. And for example, you're seeing a blue border, I think, around my camera right now. That's a filter that's showing on the screen right now. My background is blurred. That's done through a filter. Um, I haven't done much with audio mixing, so I can't talk in detail about it. But it does have an intuitive. Oops, someone just popped up. There we go. It has an intuitive audio mixer, and I don't know what VTS plugin support is, but I haven't done, like I said, I haven't done much to manipulate the audio. In the past few years, they have streamlined their settings panel and allows you to do a lot of things very quickly and easily. And I'm going to try and do the demonstration so it becomes as least complicated as possible for you to get started. For formats, the software defaults to a format in video called MKV. And I'm not exactly sure what MKV stands for, but it's the default video recording format for OBS. And you can change it to MP4 if you want to. What I do is I record in MKV, and then I do what's called a remux into an MP4. Steve, you have a question?
No, just a clarification. MKV is Matroska Video.
Oh, okay.
It's an H or an X264 codec.
Okay. It's what works best in OBS Studio for doing your recordings. If you choose MP4, it will give you a warning and say that it may lose data, it may do this or that. So I'm going to show you inside the software where you set up your initial recording as MKV, and then OBS at the end of your recording is capable of automatically outputting an MP4 as well. So you'll end up with two recordings. Multi-track videos and multi-track audios. One thing that you can do with this software program is record inputs and things that you can't record with other recording programs. For example, if you were to use a simple video recording program on your computer, you wouldn't be able to pick the individual application. And in this case, we're using Zoom for the meeting. And so the Zoom software program has audio, and your audio and the audio from the other people on the meeting are going through the application. And we've discovered, Mike and I have been doing some testing, and the ability for OBS to do multi-track recording seems to have an advantage over some of the other recording options that you have out there. I haven't used studio mode, but there is, for people who want to get more advanced, there is a studio mode for doing production work. I have set up hotkeys, and I will show you those. I have set up my F12 key to be the start and stop for streaming and recording. The benefits is, number one, is that it's free, open source, and cross-platform. It works on Windows. I've used it on Linux. I haven't tested it on a Mac, but I'm sure it works just fine. And it provides community-based technical support, and there even is a Discord server for OBS Studio, so you can join their Discord if you want. And they have a public forum for asking questions. It does do professional quality work for people who want to do that or need to do that. And even though it has a lot of features, it is really easy to use once you get over the initial hump of how to set it up, which I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna minimize this, and this is OBS Studio. And when I'm gonna go to, on the left-hand column, you have your scenes, And each scene can have a number of sources. And in this scene, I have a camera. The color source is that blue background that you can see. And the display capture, I have disabled. What I'm going to do is start by showing you when you come up with your install, a clean install, this is going to be blank. Right now, you don't see my camera anymore because I've gone to CFCS new, which doesn't have a source. I'm going to go back to my camera so you can see my ugly mug, and then go into settings. And in settings, there's a few things that I would suggest changing, but for the most part, you leave it alone. I don't change anything in general. I don't change anything in appearance. In the streaming section, I'm going to give you a demonstration for you. I'm going to put into the chat a website. There's a website called Twitch, and they support multiple streaming services. I'm going to be doing a demo today on Twitch. It does YouTube streaming, Facebook Live. One thing that I've done in the past is we Facebook live streamed my niece's wedding. Simply bring a laptop with you to the wedding and an external camera that you can face at the wedding party. And you can, if you click on Facebook Live, and if I were to say get stream key, it would go to Facebook Live and log me into Facebook, and I would get a key from Facebook, and it would be able to link OBS Studio into Facebook. And as soon as I started to stream, if you went on to Facebook and you and I were friends and you went to my Facebook page, you would see that live stream. When you are, and if I go down here and I say show all, it has quite an extensive list of services that you can stream to. I have personally only ever done Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. YouTube, I discovered, has a 24-hour waiting period for streaming. So if you want to stream OBS Studio through YouTube Live, when you first set it up, they're going to tell you, come back tomorrow, and you'll be able to do the streaming live. I don't know why they have that policy. Facebook does not, and Twitch does not. You can start streaming immediately. In the output page, again, I leave this pretty much intact. You can set the recording path, and here's where you can set the format, and you can change the format. I can't change it right now because I'm recording. So this stuff is grayed out. But
Drew, are
yep.
we supposed to see your screen? Are we supposed to see your screen now?
I'm
We're
hoping
seeing
that
just you. We're just seeing you.
No,
You
I
only
see
see-
the
I see the
screen.
screen.
I see it
the screen.
also. Yep.
Check your view.
Try choosing your view button at the top of your screen and see at your end. I think it'll change what you're seeing.
All right, is everybody, can you see it now?
We've been able to see it,
We're
Drew.
fine,
That's not
Drew.
the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
In the recording session, this is where so now they're actually telling you that it's Matroska video, and I'm using a hardware encoder. And when you first set up OBS Studio, you'll be sent through a thing that you can rerun at the beginning called the Auto Configuration Wizard. When you do your install, the configuration wizard is going to run, and it's going to ask you to either prioritize streaming or video recording, and it will analyze your display settings and set it all up for you. So this auto configuration wizard is very handy, and I just take all the defaults. Back in settings, under audio, again, this has a lot of configuration stuff. I leave it all alone. I don't touch it. In video, this has been set for me through the auto configuration wizard, and I leave it alone. Hotkeys, I have put in hotkeys for starting and stopping and pausing and unpausing the recordings. If it has a stop and start recording button in the software, it's just that it's going to put that software at the very beginning of your recording, and then you have to cut it out. If you minimize OBS Studio and you press, if I press F12, it starts recording immediately, and it starts recording whatever I want it to record. And then under Advanced, there's one thing I want to show you, and that is in the recording section, the automatic remux to MP4. If your desire is to have a final file that outputs to MP4, simply check this box, and after you're done recording, it will remux and output an MP4 file of your entire video. And that's everything in settings. So I'm going to go down to CFCS New, and you'll see that this black box is my designing board, or whatever they call it. This is everything that you're going to see or record in OBS Studio will appear in this box. The audio mixer by default will find your default microphone that Windows has assigned to be your default microphone. And if your computer generates any audio, that like system audio, it will come through the desktop audio feed. Right now, there's nothing running that's generating any audio for that. What I'm going to do is in the sources, you have these buttons down here, and one of them is this plus button. And for those of you who want to do a simple recording of your entire desktop computer, simply choose display capture. And if I choose display capture and say, okay, it's going to pull up OBS Studio is what's in my viewing panel right now. And the capture method, if automatic doesn't work for you, sometimes I manually set it to Windows 10, 1903 and up. Sometimes this window will come up blank. If you see a blank screen over here, change it to the Windows 10 and up, and it'll work just fine. I leave the display alone and I hit OK. Now, if I were to start recording, it would record my entire screen. And that's all you need to do as far as setting up OBS Studio to do a screen. If you want to create a screencast video of you demonstrating something on your computer, a how-to video or whatever, and your goal is to capture your entire screen, this is all of the configuration setup that you need to do. You're ready to go. One thing that you can do if you want is adjust how much of your screen or where on your screen you're recording, because you can put multiple objects in here, and the display capture is just one of them. So it can be in the middle, it could be in the corner, or you can, and if you hold down the Alt key, you can actually shrink it so that it's only capturing a tiny section of the screen. And then you can bring it back to normal again. Another option that you might want to do, I'm going to bring this over to here. Another thing that you might want to capture is your camera. You might want to put a camera in there. So I use the video capture device, and I already have my webcam set up. So I'm going to say choose camera, and here I am. And again, I can resize myself in the image, and I can fit the desktop video, and I can put my picture in here as well. And if I go under filters, you'll see that I'm running this AI removal background filter, and I have it set to blur my background. And that is how it's blurring what you see in the background here. It's using this filter, and that filter comes for free from their website. And I'll show you that, and I'll give it to you in the web link. There's a whole section of filters that come pre-included all of these, except for the AI remove background, come with open broadcasting systems. For some reason, they don't provide you with the option to just simply blur your background. Sometimes what I do is create a custom background, and I can pick a picture and put that in the background. And if this were if I bring in a different camera, let me try it with a different camera because it's go to video capture device, add existing and video capture device. There we go. This is my other camera. So now you're seeing me through two cameras. One camera that is attached to the top of my screen. That's an external camera plugged into my USB cable, and the internal camera that is on the laptop. And I can change I can rotate the camera, and so that this is how you would, if you wanted to capture a wedding, for example, you would use a portable camera, and you can put in here any one of the different options that they have here. The one that I use frequently is the application audio capture. It says beta next to it in its name, but it works. This is how you would record an application that is producing audio. In our case, Zoom is producing audio. So if I were to say, okay, here, it gives me an option to choose which one of the windows that I have open that do I want to capture the audio from. And if I were to say, I want to capture it from Zoom, I have to pick the proper Zoom. The Zoom Workplace is the main meeting. And if I go here, you should see under application audio capture, it's not producing. There it is. Now it's producing audio.
And
So
I'll just jump in and say a few things, and you can see my voice now showing up on his microphone.
Thank you for that. That's one thing that I just realized that I needed to tell you was that the application audio is capturing what other people say in the meeting, not what I say in the meeting. What it's recording right now is track one in the recording is going to be my microphone and what I say. And in the final recording, there will be another audio track available that will have all of the things that everybody else in the meeting says. You have the ability to mute and unmute or adjust the volume level of that recording. So another option that you have is to put in a color source. Let's say I want to put in a background. I'm going to choose an existing color source that I have, and you'll see that it changed the entire background yellow. That is because in the sources, the color source got added at the very top. These sources are going to be displayed in your video in the order in which they are listed from the top. So if I move the color source down to the bottom, it puts it in the background and everything else is on top of it. So what is on the very top is what's going to be in the foreground. And that's how you can create whatever you want to create. Like if I go into scene 2, I've created a video. Okay, this particular window over here is a slideshow. And how you add a slideshow is to simply choose slideshow. And if you say okay, if I go into properties, I can, it's not going to let me change it while I'm in the middle of this. But when you choose it, it will give you the ability to choose what directory you want. I have a folder with about 50 pictures of my dog, and it's just scrolling through. This window over here, I'm using what they call the VLC video source, and that is simply right here. It comes with the system, and if you click on it, it will add a new source, and then I can add either files, or I can add a directory, or I can even put in a URL, and it will put it on the screen. Another popular one that I use is a browser. You can go in and say, I'm going to choose to put in the CFCS website on here. And how did I do that? Simply by going in here and putting in the URL of the website. Whatever website I put in here, if I go in and say https:// the Stug.
Misspelled.
Oops. So thank you. https:// thestug.org/index2.html. You got to put the whole thing in and hit OK. It changes it to the Sarasota Technology User Group website. And again, I can resize it and put it where I want on the screen. And you can use as many of these as you want, and you can place them again, their placement and priority on the screen is based on where they are in this list. And if you want to change, you just simply click on a different scene, and I can have as many scenes as I want. And it's once you learn the basics, it's not very complicated to use OBS Studio. And you'll see over here, using a virtual camera, and it's on. That's why what you see in the camera is coming up in Zoom. I've chosen to use the OBS Studio virtual camera. It'll show up as one of your cameras in Zoom if you install the software. I'm going to click on the live stream, and then I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to paste into. Oops! Now you're hearing it. Where is the link that I gave everybody? I'm going to go to the CCF. Here we go. This is a website. I'll put this in the chat. If you go to twitch.tv, I created a dummy user called Joe Schmo. And if you go to this website, it will, I don't know how to get to the chat right now. If you type in twitch.tv/JoeSchmo240, you'll see what is in this window right now. And you're hearing a little background audio because of the fact that I'm talking to you through Zoom at the same time that you're hearing the audio come from this website. This is live streaming. And I can go into OBS Studio and change what I'm recording on that video. And you'll see if I go back to here, it changes. And you can hear that. So let me turn the audio off on that. If I mute the audio, it'll quiet down. There we go. Now it's muted. So this is an example of how easy it is to live stream. Recording is simple. You just hit the start recording button, and that's all I have learned so far in OBS Studio. Changing the scenes, And I'm going to stop the stream so that I don't hear myself twice. So this is basically OBS Studio as I have learned it so far. So does anybody have, if anybody have a question about anything that I've demonstrated or want to see again, just raise your hand and let me know.
I'll jump in real quick. You and I discussed the fact that this is free and open source, and the fact on their website they got a complete list of the add-ons. If you can put that up on one of your scenes and go to the OBS Studio website and just show us the add-ons.
This is their main page, and if you go to OBS project, here it is, the OBS project / forum resources. There is a, if I go back here, obsproject.com / forum / plugins is the website that you want to know about. And if you go into Google and just search for OBS plugins, you'll get to this webpage. And there are a ton of community generated plugins. And the plugin that I used to blur my background came from somewhere in here. And I've included the apps in my notes that I'll hand out to everybody at the end so that you can use the same app that I'm using if you want to. That's the website. This is another thing I'll include. I haven't experimented with this yet, but this is a virtual green screen for OBS Studio that allows you to do green screen stuff without actually having a green screen. And this is one of the next things that I'm going to be attempting to learn about. Bob, you have a question?
How do you do editing in OBS? You finished. You finished. Now you want to do some editing and get rid of the crap that happens during actual recording.
OBS Studio is a recording program only.
Okay.
Video
I
editing.
use something else to do the editing. Oh, that's fine.
You use your video editor of choice.
Okay, that's fine. That explains it.
Yep. And any other questions?
I got a comment. I've been using this for at least a year, maybe a year and a half. Every few months they updated it a bit. But we have a monthly family Zoom gathering with maybe 6, 7, 8 people online at the same time doing Zoom, and I record it using OBS, and it's been fantastic because we have these recordings of our discussions. We have people all over the world, Denmark and California and other places, and we're all on Zoom. And some time ago, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, people said, wouldn't it be nice if we had some way to remember these things? Well, now I've been recording it with this, and I can take screenshots, I can take clips, audio and video clips, and save them. This has been a great tool, this OBS. I haven't used all the features that you've been describing today, except for recording the video and the sound of whatever's on my computer at that time. And in fact, I'm doing today's lecture. I'm recording this whole lecture that you just gave on OBS, and it's so I can look at it again later. But it's a great tool. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been using it for years to do basic screen recording. I just recently learned how to use the virtual camera. It was through one of the people that's on Discord taught me, a guy who named Richard, who lives in Australia. He's on our Discord, and he taught me the other day how to do the virtual camera. Anybody else?
Steve Parker.
Yeah, do you have a PDF of links and things to get
Yeah,
started with it?
I can,
That's one impressive program. Boy, it's come a heck of a long way since time-based correctors, that's for sure.
what
How long
I
has this
can do,
program been around?
I don't know how many years it's been around. It's been around a long time.
Wow.
Um, it's a very well developed software program. I don't know how it's free. Um, it's a very sophisticated program for being free.
Yeah, certainly a lot easier to use than Adobe Premiere Pro, that's for sure.
And it's free. That's
And I'm recording this using Zoom, and when this is done, it'll be put up on the CFCS videos site, and we'll also announce it in our TechSig Google group. So there'll be a
And
copy of the recording, and anything that Drew gives us in terms of support material
yep,
will also
yep.
be included with that.
I'm going to take all of this information here and make it available to Mike or whoever wants to post it somewhere or send it around to the group. These are the names of the
Put it on
plugins that,
Discord.
Yeah,
yep,
it'll
we'll put
be
it
there
on
too.
Discord. These are the blur filters that I use. The blur filter plugin and the OBS background removal. You can get these off of the Discord server. And this is a hyperlink to the background removable virtual green screen. I'll add, before I send this out, I'll add the URLs to these files into here so that you can get to them more easily. But I'll send out, here's a link to the plugins. Here's a link to Twitch and all of the information. These are all valid hyperlinks that you can read about all the features and benefits of the software. So I'll turn this into a PDF. It will have all the links will be clickable and everybody can have this to look at.
Thank you, Drew.
Great, yeah, thanks.
I've
So
been
if there's,
I've been toying with OBS for a couple of years now, and I just haven't been able to wrap my head around it. I don't do live, but for certain presentations, it's very helpful. But this adds to my understanding and knowledge, and I really appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome.
This all started because I was recording some of our video sessions in the Discord video channels, and I was using Camtasia to do the recording, and then and Camtasia obviously has a built-in editor, and we were getting lots of echoes on the audio tracks, especially as you look at the audio mixer on Drew's screen right now, where he's got his desktop audio and his mic aux, and then he's got Abby Beach as his virtual mic at the moment. And Camtasia was superimposing the audio that was coming from my microphone on top of the computer audio and delaying it by about 1/4 of a second, maybe 1/8 of a second. And there was no way for me to split that out and separate it and just get the audio that I wanted. And I worked with Camtasia's tech support, and they finally said, well, use a headset. Separate out your audio separately so that you're not recording what your speakers are playing. And Drew has shown us, not only that, but the compatibility with the fact that he's on a Zoom conference right now using the audio and the video that's coming from what's going through OBS Studio, and there doesn't seem to be any conflicts. And I was having all kinds of conflicts when Camtasia was up at the same time Zoom was. So for me, this looks like a great replacement for Camtasia's built-in recording capability, but I am a little disappointed that it doesn't have the editor portion of it. So that'll be a quest that I'll still be looking for.
Mike, did you ever look at Crisp, which filters out background noise?
The interesting thing about Crisp, because I was recording Discord has Crisp built in, and I didn't have to add Crisp as a separate add-on. So no, I didn't have the separate Crisp add-on running at the same time.
I use Crisp religiously, And it doesn't matter if my phone rings or my wife interrupts or I'm playing my audio through a speaker, which of course would feed back into the mic, but you guys never hear that stuff. And that's simply because Crisp is filtering all that crap out of there. Concentrates on me and leaves everything else alone.
Yeah, I also use it.
And that could be one of the solutions. But I do like OBS Studio, so I'll be looking at it too.
Oh, I still want to give this one a try, even though it's just a recorder. That's fine. One of my main problems with using something else is trying to do edits in it because it has multi-tracks. And when you try to go into editing multi-tracks, forget it. But if I can get it to produce the MP4 and then plug it into what I use, which gives me a single track, it makes life so much easier. So I'm going to be playing with this one. That looks interesting, Drew.
And I do like the multiple live streaming capabilities that it's got built in. And you don't have to do anything really special. They've done all the work for you to get what you need to go live on YouTube or to go live on Facebook or to go live on Twitch. And I don't even recognize half of the things that are on there that they say they can go live on.
Yep. They support a lot of them, and I've used those three. Twitch I think is popular for gamers.
Yes, very much. Yeah. Any other questions from our audience?
Thank you, Drew.
You're welcome, Bob.
We thank you very much, Drew. As I said, once I stop recording, I will save it and we'll process it. We'll put it out on the CFCS communications channels that we have. It'll be up on our Discord. The invitation to Discord's on our website. If you don't have it, you're more than welcome to come check that out as well. Any other general questions before? Yeah, Huey, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, this is something that I've always wanted to try, and I thought it was just going to be overpowering as far as how to do it, but Drew made it look awful simple.
And we got the video to watch again. Try to keep
You can watch it again. Yep.
Or come in during our coffee and chat discussions every morning on the CFCS Discord from 8 to 9 Eastern. And Drew is usually there, so he'll take questions on it too.
Yep. 5 cents a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't even know that such valuable software was available. I'm blown away by the fact that it's free. I didn't even know it existed. So what a masterful presentation, Drew. Thank you so much for that. That was really...
You're welcome. And I'm doing it at the same time that I'm watching my football game.
Yeah. Except I'd be recording my football game, and then that way I could fast forward to the commercials.
Yeah, unfortunately, with live streaming right now, I don't have the ability to record it. I'd have to be doing it on my computer. I could record it, but right now I'm streaming through my TV.
Well, we'll let you get back to it.
Real quick, it's Donna. Your morning chat is 6 in the morning for me. I'm never going to make it at 6 in the morning. So enjoy your chat, gentlemen. I tell you what, the West Coast is not joining you.
Well, as more people join us, Donna, during the day, perhaps we'll have a Jimmy Buffett chat, which will be at 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll have a group meeting at 5 o'clock. Eastern. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.